Would you please give a warm ZestFest welcome for CaJohn himself, John Hard.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the 4 o'clock edition of ZestFest 2020 Cook-Off. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go back to some of my Cajun, I can't actually call it Cajun roots. What it was is, you heard I was a fire protection engineer from the meat and potatoes Midwest. And one of the jobs that I worked with was the oil companies down in Louisiana. So I'd travel down there for maybe a couple months out of the year and work with them on fire protection design and installation. And I came from the meat and potatoes Midwest. I went down there and learned about all this great food that they cook down there in Louisiana. Now, I'm Irishman and I'm from Ohio, but Cajun John is what they started calling me, and that just kind of morphed itself into CaJohn. But like I said, it was more they were making fun of me because I was this Irishman from the meat and potatoes Midwest. But I learned from a lot of the guys down there who did a lot of cooking. I got to meet people like Chef Paul Prudhomme and Alex Patou, chef down there. And you know, later on I got to meet Emerald and some of those and just learned quite a bit about the Asian. Now I'm saying Asian myself because we're not making bok choy, we're making mak choy, which is Cajun. It's a dish that people, almost all the Cajun households, Creole households make this, and it's everybody has different versions of it. But this is one that I picked up that I really liked. It's got lots of different vegetables. It's a stir-fry type dish. So, well, we'll just go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to teach you is how to make some Louisiana-style hot sauce. We're going to do it here in the blender. We're going to do this one with ripe red jalapenos. I find that the red peppers are considerably sweeter than the green, and they don't have that grassy sort of flavor. But you can make it with just about any kind of chilies you want. The one little thing that I will note is one of the tricks that I've learned on it is you not only use the fresh chilies, but you use a powder chili as well. And I usually try to keep it together with jalapeno. This, however, is roasted red jalapeno, so it's going to have a little bit of a smoky flavor to it. And it's real simple ingredients: white vinegar, fresh chilies, we've got some turbinado sugar, we've got some garlic, some salt, and the chili powder. Myself, I'm not a big fan of the fermented, heavily salted mashes to make the sauces with. And as a matter of fact, I really went to the point where I started doing my own putting up of the chilies. We would buy them from the growers and put them up ourselves. So our harvest time got very busy around our plant, and you know, it provided so much better chili flavor in that's the reason I won so many golden chilies, in my opinion. And you know, year in and year out with the competition, we beat some really good sauces. But you know, if I have to point at one thing, it's that. The secondary thing is I try to make the chili the star of all my sauces. So you're going to see that this is a very basic, simple sauce. We're going to put the chilies in here. Now I stemmed them, but I didn't seed them. And this is going to be a little tricky. For a minute, now we can use it the right way. Okay, we're going to add the turbinado sugar, the garlic, and don't be afraid to put garlic in it. I mean, I don't want to sound like Emerald that, you know, about 50 cloves, but, you know, garlic and chilies go together so well. You know, we even add onion sometimes. Maybe it be onion powder or just the fresh onion. But we're going to put some salt. And like I said, when we put up our mash, we never put it up with any salt because I want the salt to flavor at the end. And then we're going to add the powder. This is so crazy simple to do at home that you basically, there you have hot sauce. Now this has got a lot of vinegar bite to it, but that is the Louisiana style. A lot of people don't really know. I mean, if you look at a bottle of a Tabasco, which is mostly just pepper-infused vinegar, you're just going to see, you know, vinegar, chilies, and salt. But now vinegar, infused vinegar like Tabasco has about 7% chili solids in it. And somebody's like Frank's or Cholula, they're up in the mid-teens with their pepper content. We like to call it, what's the pop of our hot sauce? And the pop is percentage of pepper in it. You see that there? That's the finished product. So we're going to take some of this, and we're going to go over here and we're going to start this Mardi Gras rice. You know, we're going to use some chicken stock. You can use water, but the little secret to doing this is when we cook this, we're going to put some of the hot sauce in it along with some of the spice. And what it's going to do, it's going to flavor the rice as it cooks. You can do this. You know, one of the things I like to do is maybe take a sweet Asian chili sauce and put it in with my rice if I'm going to be doing some Asian food. But in this case, we'll have hot sauce. Another easy way to make like a Spanish rice is to just put some drained salsa or some pico de gallo in the rice when it's cooking too. And when it comes out, that's what you're going to have. So we've got the rice. Now let's go ahead and use some of this hot sauce. This is our Firehouse hot sauce from CaJohn's. And we'll use, what did I do with that? Okay, there it is. We'll put a little bit of this red jalapeno in it as well. So then we'll add the basmati rice. We're going to add some of this. This is a Cajun spice. This is that crazy Cajun from Cowboy Spice, who's our friend over here from the Houston area, Texas, that's in the booth in aisle 2. So we'll put this in. Just give it that little bit of a stir to get it going. Get it turned on. You know, a lot of people really don't know the difference between Cajun and Creole cooking. And, you know, the Creole is more true to the French, but the French Canadians, the Cajuns, you know, they were pretty much. So what it really basically boils down to is Cajun cooking is country cooking in Louisiana, and Creole cooking is generally city cooking. And there's a lot more of the Creole influence from the servants that worked in the households and the plantations, and more of a cityfied style cooking. So we're going to let that get going. Now the mock shoe. Okay, I'm one pan shy, I guess. It's not like I'm not familiar with this stage, but, you know, like Emerald always said, we're cooking live, so I'll make a mistake now and then. But we'll get the mock shoe started. We're going to put the butter in the pan. We're going to get some olive oil. This will keep the butter from browning very fast. We're going to put a little bit of white wine in it because wine is always good in food. We'll get this butter melted down. Like I said, I'm making a mistake. I'm starting to do the shrimp recipe, so let's have some fun with this. You know, another little thing that I like to talk about is, you know, I'm on the advisory board along with my wife for the Chili Pepper Institute at New Mexico State University. In fact, we just recently purchased a home so we can snowbird into Las Cruces and get away from the cold weather. You know, we were a little bit enamored with that 350 days of sunshine, 350 days. And we've worked with the Chili Institute and learned a lot about peppers and chilies. For example, where did the name peppers come from? Came from a guy by the name of Christopher Columbus. He left Spain looking for a route to India to pick up the black pepper. And when he ran into the Arawak Indians in the islands there, he got these pods that were called sili, which is the root of chili. And when he presented it, he went back and presented it and said, "Okay, Queen, I found pepper in this new area." So basically, we've called them peppers all along, but it's also interesting the way that chili is spelled in different areas. You know, New Mexico passed a resolution that says that the correct pronunciation is Chile and that it is spelled C-H-I-L-E. However, if you go around the world, you can get two L's. Most of them end with an I. So now we'll get started on the mak choux. This is just a potpourri of flavors. We're going to start with the garlic and the onion and 4 kinds of pepper here. These are 3 different bell pepper colors. And then we have some jalapeno. So this is basically just sort of a stir fry, as I said. We're going to get it going, get this thing melted down a little bit. You know, one of the interesting things about this show is we're on our 10th show here in in Irving. We came here from Fort Worth, where we were at the Amon Carter building there at the Will Rogers Center. Before that, the show was in Austin, so it's been traveled around quite a bit. And, you know, we're always impressed with the number of people that come out to it from local, and, you know, it's really even begun to draw a whole lot of people from across the country, and we even have international visitors. You know, it's nice to see we've got some international companies out here, like the folks from the Honduras over here, the Lengua de Fuego, you know, fire of the tongue. Okay, we got this thing started. Now we'll come over, and I'm going to add some andouille to this. This is almost like two main dishes, but mak choux is served a lot as a side dish. But when you add the meat to it, it kind of comes on to, it takes on a one-pot sort of meal flavor. Hi, Dana. I said, hi, Dana. We're going to get that kind of working there. Let's make it interesting. Let's put a little bit of this homemade hot sauce in here as well. You know, not to be like a one-trick pony with saying Cajun Creole, With the oil companies, I also worked out of the Permian Basin out there in Midland, Odessa, and I learned to love Tex-Mex and New Mex cooking. Again, this was in the 70s and 80s. I'm going to add some tomatoes. And this is a great dish to use to clean out your refrigerator. You know, when you got a little bit of this vegetable, a little bit of that vegetable, it's all well and good to use it. You can't go wrong putting these things together. We're going to add some corn, get that Midwest sort of thing going for me. The land of the corn and the wheat and the hogs and the steers, and of course you guys got all that here too, but we kind of like the Midwest aspect of it. So we just kind of let this cook a little bit, and I'll get back here on our shrimp. Our rice is coming to a boil. And as you can see, you're going to have little colors in here from the spices and the hot sauce that we used. This rice will end up being sort of a pink color. And, you know, it takes on, if you use green, like jalapeno, green jalapeno sauce, it's going to turn out with the green. If you use a chipotle sauce, you can also put barbecue sauce in your rice if you want to eat it with ribs and things. It's just a real easy cooking method. So we've got this going pretty good. We're going to move this and come out here and get this shrimp going. These are peeled deveined shrimp. However, if you're doing this traditionally, you're going to just use the whole shrimp, head on, shell on. A lot of people don't like that, but that's the way they do it down there. And we got this kind of do a boil, and you don't want to overcook these. It's really easy to get shrimp overcooked and make them real rubbery. So the rest of this is going to come done before the rice gets going, but never fail, we've got it back here already done. So, you know, my secrets to hot sauce that they wanted me to, I gave you a couple of them. The other thing that we're kind of known for, or I'm known for, is that we were one of the first people to make different sorts of hot sauces. And by that, what I'm saying is we were one of the first 3 people to make black garlic hot sauces. We were the first ones in the country to have a whole line of ghost chili products. And it's just my whole thing. My background comes from being the engineer. I kind of have to know everything there is about something when I'm working on it. And I really got into the chilies. So we had some friends across the pond that enabled us to get some of the bujalokia before, and we kind of had it out before anyone else. We were the first ones. We were working with Smokin' Ed from Pucker Butt, and we actually had a sauce out before he did because he was supplying the peppers to us and still working on his recipes. So basically, there's the barbecue shrimp. We're going to finish it up with a little bit of the seasoning. You got a nice partially done Any questions? I couldn't have been that complete.
CaJohn, you woke me up. You said any questions, I had to turn the mic on and run back from around. That was quick. Anybody got any questions for the man himself? Hang on, I'm coming up front. One down front. CaJohn, hang on. Yes, sir.
your seasoning that you just poured out of, how long do you usually keep those around? Like
I'm
they
sorry,
said,
I can't.
they said get rid of seasoning by such and such date, your dry seasonings.
The seasoning that you use right there that you sprinkled on the shrimp, Chef, is there like a use-by date or a shelf life on something like that?
The whole thing with the dry seasonings, you know, we're all used to expiration dates on things. They are truly just best by dates. And the thing is, if you keep most of your spices, you listen to certain people, they'll say, oh, but they're going to be gone in a year. Well, if you keep it sealed, you're not really going to have that sort of a problem. You know, dried chilies, they're dried to begin. I mean, most of these spices are dried, so they're not going to be affected. They can get humid and stick together, but you can really see that. But you're not going to expire on your spices.
Good question. Did that answer your question? Awesome. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Now, hot sauces, it's mostly vinegar, and the pH is so low on those hot sauces that left out, you know, the big question, okay, do I refrigerate my sauce? Well, a lot of people put on refrigerate after opening, and it's called kind of a CYA, cover your statement, to say that, okay, that means that it's on the consumer to take care of it properly. So, but it doesn't really matter. I like sauces that have fruits in them and tomato-based sauces. To some degree, I think it's real important to keep an eye on them, but I rarely, if ever, put my hot sauce in the refrigerator unless I want it to be cold when I'm using it. So I'm in the industry, I'm what they call a process authority as well, and that's when I review for safety and manufacturing concerns, recipes for people. It's under the new Food Safety Modernization Act. There's quite a bit of things that need to be done in kitchens and such now to make things the proper way. So it's kind of tough on the small guys, but you know, I just want to point out that CaJohn's, I owned the business for 22 years. Last year, we were purchased by our biggest customer, and now it's Hot Shots that own us. So it's kind of like Hot Shots CaJohn's. I am the head judge of the Fiery Food Challenge, but I'm only an administrative judge. I don't do any of the tasting or anything. I just oversee things to make sure things are done properly. So one of my creations, this black garlic hot sauce, was the best of the best. It won best hot sauce, and it won the best of all the categories that were in the competition. This is the third time that this has happened, twice under my oversight, and then now once under Hot Shots. But this black garlic is a very popular sauce. One of the other times that it won, it was the Firehouse hot sauce that won. So last year it was Chili Slinger Barbecue. They're here at the show. We got a lot of great people, a lot of great products out here. So, you know, I encourage you to go stop by the CaJohn's booth, stop by every booth and try it. I mean, we've got some good cooking going on here. We've got a lot of good people. And one of the nice things about this industry is that we're almost all like family. So I think that they probably are about ready to serve. Can we get a thumbs up back there? Dana?
Yes, sir.
Are we ready?
We are ready. We're plating as we go, as we speak.
Okay, we're plating as I'm rambling on. So if you want to line up over here, we'll get this put together. And I hope everyone enjoys, and I'll be available for any personal questions. So please stop by and see us.
If you can react as you walk, how about a warm ZestFest thank you for the man himself, the godfather of hot sauce, CaJohn Hard. Thank you, Chef, very much.
Stop by and see Gary. Get some of this great spice. Cowboy Spices. What's your booth number? 225. Booth 225 in aisle 2.